Hey, I'm Dave. I can't believe I'm actually going to say this on camera. I'm having a hard time. Anyway, so I've been thinking a lot recently about what happens when you die. I know this is kind of something that we don't talk about much, but I'm getting older, right? I'm 40 years old. Like, you start to think about stuff like this. You start to see, people dying, like it happens. And I start to wonder, like, what the heck, what happens when you die? I mean, my whole life, it's like I've really never thought about it that much. I don't know why, but it's a pretty important question. So I'm watching these videos on YouTube, right, about these near-death experiences, NDEs. NDE is the abbreviation. So I'm watching these videos, and they are blowing my mind. I mean, straight up blowing my mind. There are some things in there that I cannot explain. I mean, I feel like I'm a smart guy, successful, have a business, have a family, college educated, smart guy. I have no way to explain some of these things I'm seeing. Try to explain this to me. All right, so there is a blind woman who is on a hospital table getting heart surgery. She's been blind since birth. She was born blind, never was able to see, ever. Doesn't even know what seeing means. So she's on the operating table, and they're having trouble. There's complications, and she flatlines. She dies. She's literally dead. I mean, she's hooked up to machines. There's no brain activity. There's no blood pressure. There's nothing. She's dead. And this went on for 5, 6, 7 minutes. She was dead for several minutes until they brought her back. And when they brought her back, she said, yeah, I'm on the operating table. Suddenly, I'm like up in the air looking down on my body. But what's really crazy is I am seeing myself. For the first time, I'm experiencing sight. I never even knew what sight was. I am seeing myself, and I am floating up over my body. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I guess this could be explained. I mean, who knows? She's hallucinating, whatever it might be. You know, I'm a skeptic. But then she says, yeah, so up there floating at the top of the ceiling, and I look out the window of the operating room, which is kind of positioned high up in the room, and I see a pair of children's shoes on the roof outside the window, which I thought was very strange. This is what this woman is saying. She's blind. So what do the doctors do? They get a ladder, they climb up to the window. There are children's shoes outside the window on, I'm getting chills thinking about this. There are children's shoes on the roof. How do you explain this? If you have an idea, please click on this button, make a comment. I can't explain it. I can't explain it except for the fact that when you die, you go somewhere. Like, this is not it, right? The more I'm looking into this, the more I try to understand this, this is not the end. It's not the end. If you really start looking at the evidence, you'd have a hard time arguing the other point, that when you die, it is the end. There's no evidence of that. There really isn't. If you look at these people that have stared death in the face, that have had these near-death experiences, they all have the same experience, which is there is a life beyond this life. And by the way, not only is there a life beyond this life, but when you go to heaven, it's incredible the way that people explain this. The bliss, the joy, the ecstasy, be 100 times beyond anything they've ever experienced before. I want you to think about the most amazing moment in your life where you felt the most fulfilled, joyful, excited, optimistic, blessed. I don't know what word to use. Just think about that for a second. That moment in your life when you felt so good, so at peace, so joyful. Now try to imagine that feeling, multiply it by 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, and that is the experience that people have when they go to the afterlife, when they go to heaven. Wow, this is blowing my mind. This is blowing my mind. Do you understand the ramifications of this? You're going to heaven. When you die, it's not over. It keeps going. And not only does it keep going, it's far superior to this world that we're living in now. Right? You look around this world and you're like, there's so much suffering and pain and this doesn't make any sense and things are so crazy and human beings are just such a mess. But you know what? This isn't the end. This wasn't ever designed to be your entire experience of life. This is just a tiny little scratch. When you die, you're going to go to eternity, forever, for eternity. You are going to be experiencing infinite bliss, infinite joy. I want you to look into this. Go to Google. Look this stuff up. Open your mind to it. I was closed-minded to it until I started looking into it. So I'm just doing these videos to kind of get the word out. I'm trying to get the word out. And I've also figured out, look, if I spend $20 on advertising, on promoting my video on YouTube, like 5,000 people are watching it, right? You know, this is what happened to you. You're watching this video in front of another video you wanted to watch. But for $20, I'm able to reach thousands of people with this message. I'm not selling anything. I just want you to know about this. So I hope this was helpful. If you want me to do more, please click on the link, go to my page. There's not many videos there, but if you could just subscribe or comment or like or dislike, whatever, just give me some feedback whether or not you want to keep seeing videos like this. But I want to encourage you. It's not even encouraging. It is like miraculous that when you die, all of the pain and suffering and just this earth is going to pass away and you're going to live for eternity in ecstasy. All right, be blessed.